Luffy, as someone that's actually had experience in the kitchen, like it's done a couple of years in it, I've got to say, shoving everything from fish to jam to fucking snow to whatever the fuck your own boogers into that shit, that is not how you make a meal. My advice and all that, you stick to Sanji. You have a little problem right now since you haven't got Sanji, you know, maybe you should hire Soma, maybe you should hire someone in here. Now we start off with the chapter, we get to see that Luffy's reaction to meeting his, seeing a picture of his dad for the first time. And he's like, by the way, that's Dragon. And he's like, wait, that's my dad. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, that looks nothing like me though. It's like, you know, it's like, I don't, like, and his reaction is like, I'm okay, I'm more worried about Sabo. Yeah, like, it's like, so all this time, it's like, so that it definitely shows, like, unless he met him, like, at probably the youngest age. And Luffy's not the kind of person that remembers things like that, so I'm guessing, unless he was very, very young, then he might have seen his father. But it's like, I honestly doubt that he even remembers him at all one bit. There's no memories at all with him, like, thinking, oh yeah, I know Dragon. And it's like, every time, it's like, you know, by the way, it's like, we had the Marines arrive and the Scyther pole, like, when you go in it, and I was like, so we had this fight completely just skipped and everything, and like, yeah, because I feel like, it's like, especially with the One Piece, that, don't you want to see this stuff? Don't you want to see this shit going on right now? But it's like, no, look, no, we don't get to see any of it whatsoever. Let's have a look at Luffy fucking set the house on fire. Let's him see, like, some cooking. And, oh my god, who saw that from a mile away? But fucking Jack isn't done yet. Like, come on, we knew from the start this wouldn't be the end of it. And then it's just a more confirmation is that, wow, he's a fishman. He's a fishman that is like, oh yeah, like, by the way, I just can't move in this water though. And he's like, oh, come on, someone pull the fuck out of me so I can beat the shit out of him. And it's like, so we knew that, because it's like, why would you set up the character? I mean, still, he got one-shotted by a fucking, like, elephant of all things, but it's like, we knew that he wasn't in. Why would you hype up this character if there was nothing to do? So it's like, this gives Zoro and the gang, this gives them something to do whilst that's happening. And it's like, they even consider, so like, how on earth did these guys get a Vivaldi card? Like, that's the only way that they could actually find out where they are. And I'm guessing, seeing like, he's like saying, oh, pull me the fuck out of here. I'm guessing that he has a thievery card on him himself, so it's like, yeah, they know exactly where it is. And Kaido is not taking, like, this too well, as he's drinking quite a lot, as he started crying and then beating the shit out of people, and then even started getting angry, and he's like, these pieces of shit, who the hell do you think I am? And then finding out, oh yeah, seems like Kid, because people were concerned about, oh, Kid was going to join Kaido. Kid is not joining him whatsoever, as he's bleeding out, dying on the thing. It's like, yeah, you idiots better run, because you're playing your little pirate game. Like, yeah, what about you, Kid, like that. So, right there, that kind of, you know, scratch and a poo, right there, it's like, oh, he's there, he's accepted it. He's joined the ranks of Kaido. Although there still isn't any confirmation on Hawkins, but I feel like Hawkins should just be like, I kind of don't give a fuck. It's like, I'll use him just for my own goals. Scratch me with a poo. He's like, oh yes, I'll do anything for you, master. I'll do anything. And like I said, we got to this point where we're saying like, oh, by the way, let's have a look at fucking like Luffy cooking some shit. And it's like, oh, we just used every bit of food that we had here. And it's like, that was through an entire week that we had, like, just gone in an instant. But it's okay, since they're following the ways where Sanji and all them are going. It's like, where you get to see, like, a few days later, you think, like, you get to see, like, Sanji's actually tasting, like, the snow there, which actually, like, it's a lot like cotton candy. And I was like, no, that's actually not too bad. And it's like, he's, like, when he's getting there trying to be talked about, saying, like, hey, you should just join us, man. Like, you should just, like, do this. And he's like, no, and all that. Like, I'm not joining you. I'm like, fuck, I abandoned my father. Like, I got rid of that shit and all that. And he's like, listen carefully. These hands of mine, they exist only to make food for my friends. They're nothing else and all that. Train mad in hell and all that to go back, and for that one reason alone. And it's like, but, oh, it's okay though and all that. And it's like, you know, why don't we show you this cute little fucking picture of Lady Charlotte, which is the 35th, like, daughter. And I'm like, okay. That's the thing. It's like, he sees the picture, it's like, oh look, what a shocking surprise. It's an attractive lady and all that to win Sanji's side. So, like, Big Mom is terrifying, and it's like, okay, how does something that cute pop out of that? Like, you know, that fucking monster. My guess is that either A, she's a mega bitch, 2, that, like, she is seeing the top of her, that there's something at that bottom that's, like, a nasty or something like that. for it, like, maybe that's a true transformation, maybe that's what she used to look like years ago or something like that. Like, there's got to be something like that. Like, I honestly doubt, like, this is just the case. Like, there's something, like, pudding, it just happens to be nice. It's like, oh, like, when you're with Big Mom, like, I had, like, unless she's, like, super nice to her children, like, which would be the rare thing, since she just fucking eats people. You can say the whole Jack fight, that's the one, it's like, wow, I hope they don't fucking skim over that, like we have, like, with so many other fights in One Piece. Like, this is the one thing, is like, some of this stuff, yeah, it was interesting and all that, but it's like, does, like, what, like, instead of, like, seeing, like, Luffy and all that reaction, I don't know, maybe we might want to see Cypher Paul, like, you know, going at them. Maybe we want to see, like, Blackbeard and all them going at it. And it's like, oh, they're going to do it later. But even still, it's just, like, we could have had way more, like, even the hyper stuff going on like that. And they, like, but no, we're just going to get that around. And then, as well, like, I'm sorry, guys, I know, but shocking, but One Piece became a little bit predictable and that stuff with the whole Jack stuff, because, like, he's down. Like, we knew something was up with him, and it's like, well, if he's going to be in the ocean, then there's something got to be up with him. It's like, the only other possible situation about how exactly could Jack survive, unless there was some bullshit involved, is that he's a fisherman. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but it's like, I feel like kind of defending, like, the One Piece bit on that is like, come on, that's the one bit where I'm like, yeah, I kind of noticed that, although seeing Kid getting fucked up, though, I was like, yeah, I know a lot of people being like, okay, I'm glad Kid's not, like, joining them or anything like that. He's not, like, you know, an underling. That's what Kid is. Kid does things his own way, but god damn, has he had the shit kicked out of him at Kaido. Like, so that just shows what kind of condition, like, all of them were at the end after they were fighting Kaido, because that did not go well. Overall, I did like this chapter. I feel like it has some issues to it, and it's like, you know, at least we're moving. Like I said, we're still progressing. That's one thing that most, you know, that I like. So we're still going around on the boat, and it's like, we are going through, like, a couple of days getting past this stuff. So I gotta say, I do like this chapter. I think it's like a 7.5 though. It's like, you know, there was some stuff that kind of hurt me. It's like, the Jack thing was like, yeah, we kind of expected that happening, and it's like, why are we still like, there's stuff like, we feel like, oh, let's just, like, blindside this, and it's like, in room for comedy, and I'm like, the comedy's good, but it's like compared to some of these moments, like, we should be seeing, it's like, I feel like we could focus more on that, like, but never mind and all that, like, that's just me, though, that's just my own personal opinion. I know some people love this chapter, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's all from me, so I'll catch you guys next time.